We welcome to the show Ms. Lisa Daftari, I beg your pardon, Lisa Daftari, who is the editor-in-chief of the Foreign Desk, and an old friend, Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor during the first Trump administration. Victoria, great to see you. Let me start out with Lisa Daftari. First of all, you heard my riff. You can agree with it or disagree with it. That's the custom around here. But I do think, and I'm very serious about this, I think right now, after the red carpet opening of the meeting, I think Mr. Trump is with his national security advisors, with some military advisors. I'm sure they were meeting on the long plane ride over, and they continue to meet to deliver the final blows, Lisa, deliver the final blows. Reopen Project Freedom for the Hormuz, the bombing, the combat missions, et cetera, et cetera. I think Mr. Trump is now back to his hardball ways. He tried diplomacy, and it's just, to me, ironic that he might be doing this planning in Beijing. Anyway, what's your take on the whole story?
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said. I'll say all of what you said. The only thing I would add is that it's very much worth tying any sort of deal or strategy in Beijing to Tehran and telling the Chinese you can either enter U.S. markets or you can continue funding and supporting a terror regime, but not both. And look, China is an equal opportunity opportunist. They're not the loyal girlfriend sitting by the phone waiting for Tehran. So what they've been doing is funding and arming Tehran because they've been getting this discounted oil in return. So if they feel as though they can find a better deal, they'll dump Iran overnight. They entered this 25-year deal in 2021 that culminated their relationship. They've been buying cheap oil. They've been giving Iran weapons. They've been giving them all sorts of ways of working around the sanctions, working around the US dollar, and in exchange, funding the proxies and funding their weapons programs and watching exactly how Tehran has become this hegemon terror regime that it has become. So I think it is very much worth the conversation. The unfortunate part of all of this is that we're not just dealing with Tehran, we're dealing with the axis, with Russia, with China, with Iran, all together, and we've been letting Russia and China read between the lines instead of dealing with them head on. I think this is an opportunity to deal with them, be forthright, and blast forward with finishing the job.
Yeah, Victoria, I want to bring in, you've been engaged in all these kinds of planning exercises and so forth. I think, Victoria, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, because you know more about this stuff than I do. This is your stuff. But I think even the long trip, through the base in Anchorage and now to Beijing, I think there was military planning going on. Mr. Trump tried diplomacy for, what, a month, 5 weeks? Didn't really work. I'm glad he tried. It's in his nature to try, as you well know. But I think now it's back to hardball. I think they're going to go to reopen Project Freedom for the Strait of Hormuz. I think the bombing is coming. I think they'll go after multiple targets, including Kharg Island, which they say the lights are already turned off in Kharg Island. Anyway, I mean, this is the moment. It's just ironic that the finishing touches may be completed while they're in Beijing, but that's life. And I don't think here's where I'm going, Victoria, I don't think with China on their back foot militarily, financially, and economically, I don't think Xi can or will do a darn thing to get in the way. He's not going to help us, but I don't think he's going to get in the way. What say you?
No, Larry, great to be with you. Good to see you too, Lisa. Now, I agree 100%. And for those of us who have had the pleasure of traveling with President Trump, you know those aren't restful trips. He likes to maximize his time. So I strongly agree that trip was a planning exercise, and he was doing a lot of sort of forward thinking about how he can potentially leverage the time in China. But think about the message, Larry, that sends to Tehran. This is their main patron, is China. And what's China doing? They're rolling out the red carpet for Donald Trump. They want to talk to the strong horse. They don't particularly care about whatever is left of the mullahs in Tehran, except for the oil they may get out of it. And of course, the president is mindful of gas prices for American consumers and potentially higher food prices. None of us want to see that. But as you said, The ultimate goal here of ridding our country of this menace for the last 47 years is a noble one and will be worthwhile to the American people. But finally, the other thing that nobody is talking about is the fact that we have this flotilla of tankers sailing toward the United States because the United States is now the world's gas station. Can China do that? No. They're probably asking for contracts for both oil and natural gas from the president while he's over there. So this is just a huge flex on his part because he knows what the policies he enacted in the first term that they have continued in the second term, what that means ultimately for energy security globally.
You know, Victoria, we negotiated the so-called Phase 1 trade deal with China, which they did not complete. I mean, they did promises made, promises not kept. But your point about oil, it's funny. They're talking about soybeans. They're talking about Boeing. It's okay. They're talking about chips, you know, semiconductors and AI and all the other things. I don't know if any of that gets resolved or not. But the one thing China needs is oil and gas. I mean, they built, you know, this relying on coal. It's an expensive and dirty proposition. I don't know if they care about that. I mean, I think that's an important point. You know, Lisa, here, building on Victoria's point, I think the United States economy is strong. I don't care. We have a couple bad months of inflation. Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. The financial stock markets, you know, shrugged it off today, as they should. We may get 2 or 3 more bad months, okay? But when the war's over and they're destroyed, those prices are going to come down. Everybody knows that. But the point is, our economy, the rest of it, is strong. Manufacturing strong, right. Construction is strong, business, capital X strong. We're leading in AI and chips to supply AI. We're leading on the power side. We're leading in oil. That's the thing, oil. Oil is so important. How ironic the Bidens got everything so totally wrong. It's not climate change. It's all about oil and natural gas. So here's Xi, you know, he's stuck. His economy is lousy. And he's lost his best oil patron. And ironically, not only has he lost his best oil patron, his protege is getting clobbered. And they spent a lot of time working on that protege. And guess what? The USA is taking them out. They're taking them out. I think that's unbelievable, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely. And throughout this process, China has not stuck its neck out for Iran's regime even one time. They even told them, don't close off the strait. Look, they have never come out to brazenly support the terror regime in Tehran. And as for the markets and as for the United States, I think, you know, Donald Trump, if you look at the masterful way that the timeline of this war went, he actually had designed these off-ramps. And we saw how quickly the markets, the oil prices bounced back every single time he took a pause in this war. It demonstrated to the American public how quickly after this war, when we do get rid of this 47-year problem, how quickly everything will go back. So to your point in your riff, this is worthwhile to get rid of an issue that is not just foreign policy. This is homeland security. This is the entire world's problem. But of course, U.S. and Israel leading the way. But it's a problem that will be solved for generations to come.
This is the defense of civilization. This is the defense of Western values. Right. This is the defense of freedom. I don't care about a couple of months of $4 gasoline. Honestly, I don't care if the inflation rate goes to 5% for a couple. This is the defense of freedom and civilization and Western values, Judeo-Christian values. That's what this is all about. Victoria, let me just one last one here. Am I wrong? I think as soon as the Xi thing is over, I don't know that it'll happen during, they're going to go right back into the Operation Freedom and resume the combat operations, Victoria. Just give me a quickie on that. Am I far-fetched? Do you think he's going to wait? I think he's going to hit right away.
No, I agree. I think action is imminent. And what we have to keep an eye on, Larry, is the systematic failure of the Iranian economy. They can't recover from what's happening. You're just talking about the lights going off in Kharg Island. That's the least of their worries. Their currency is valueless. They haven't had a stock market since early March. There's really nothing to recover there. And that is going to happen. They have problems they can't solve. So Operation Economic Theory, or Fury rather, going with Operation Epic Fury, I mean, that's a 1-2 punch. They they can't recover from.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Terrific stuff. Lisa Daftari, thank you ever so much. Victoria Coates, we appreciate it. It's great to see you again. All right.